Kyrgios beats Sabalenka in Battle of the Sexes Showdown. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Reuters. Nick Kyrgios beat Aryna Sabalenka 6-3-6-3 on Sunday in a Battle of the Sexes exhibition match billed as a modern take on Billie Jean King's famous win over Bobby Riggs over 50 years ago, but one that ignited controversy over its relevance and meaning. The clash between four-time Grand Slam champion Sabalenka and former world number 13 Kyrgios was billed as entertainment, but critics warned that it risked reducing women's tennis to a sideshow and trivializing its progress toward equality. The match that gave the event its name was the 1973 Battle of the Sexes, when women's tennis pioneer King beat 55-year-old former Grand Slam winner Riggs, who had said that the standard of women's tennis could never match that of the men's game. King told the BBC that although this year's clash carried the same tagline, it lacked the stakes of her showdown with Riggs, a contest she described as a fight for social change in a vastly different cultural era. "I don't think many people would have put their hand up to be in this position, especially in my position," Kyrgios said. Obviously, Aryna was up for the challenge. The scoreline was closer than it was. I was under the pump there, and then anything happens once the crowd gets behind it. I was nervous. Playing in front of a sold-out crowd at Dubai's Coca-Cola Arena, Kyrgios negotiated the slightly smaller equalizer court on women's world number 1 Sabalenka's side to secure victory after an entertaining contest played under modified rules. With a one-serve-per-point rule in effect, both players faltered on their deliveries in crucial moments before Kyrgios broke for a 4-3 lead and went on to take the opening set. The Maverick Australian was drenched in sweat and appeared out of breath in the second set after going 1-3 down, while his opponent danced to the music during a strategic timeout, but he persevered to make it 3-3 after Sabalenka sent a shot long. Unlike Riggs, who had long retired from the men's tour when he took on fellow American King, Kyrgios is an active player on the ATP Tour even though his recent seasons have been blighted by a succession of wrist and knee injuries. The former Wimbledon runner-up, a major draw on and off the court with his natural talent and charisma, managed only 5 professional singles matches in 2025. "It was a really tough match," Kyrgios added. "She's a hell of a competitor and such a great champion. Obviously, she's a multiple Grand Slam champion. And I didn't really know what to expect. As I said before this whole event, whatever role I was to play, it was another great opportunity to go out here. She broke my serve numerous times. And honestly, I had to strap it because she was putting the pressure on, hitting amazing shots. I would love to play her again and showcase her talent and also what I have left in the tank." Ultimately, it was a really hard-fought battle and there were breaks back and forth. Seeing someone as great as Aryna out here and myself, it truly is a spectacle, and I think this is a great moving stepping stone forward for the sport of tennis. Kyrgios, who shortened the points with cheeky drop shots and used variations on his serve to good effect, pulled away and sealed the victory on serve before sharing a warm embrace with Belarusian Sabalenka at the net. "I think I put on a great fight," Sabalenka said. "He was struggling. He got really tight. I'm happy to see that the guy is getting tight and, after, taking away one of my serves. I think it was a great level. I made a lot of great shots, moved a lot to the net, great drop shots. Nick, great serving. I really enjoyed the show and I feel like the next time when I play him, I already know the tactics. I know his strengths, his weaknesses, and it's going to be a better match for sure." The night air inside Rod Laver Arena hummed with a tension that had nothing to do with rankings or trophies. This was not a Grand Slam final, nor an exhibition built only for spectacle. It was something rarer, a collision of styles, personalities, and expectations. The scoreboard read simply, Kyrgios versus Sabalenka, and beneath it, in smaller letters, the phrase that had ignited debate for weeks. Battle of the Sexes. Nick Kyrgios walked onto the court first, racket slung loosely in one hand, headphones still on, expression half bored, half charged. The crowd responded with a familiar mix of cheers and murmurs. He thrived on that uncertainty. Aryna Sabalenka followed, shoulders squared, eyes locked forward, her presence instantly shifting the mood. This was not novelty tennis. This was power meeting power. They met at the net for the coin toss. No smiles, no jokes. Just a brief nod from Kyrgios and a steady stare from Sabalenka. The match began with Sabalenka serving. Her first delivery cracked through the air like a gunshot, wide, flat, untouchable. The arena roared. Kyrgios grinned, clapped his racket once against his shoe, and bounced on his toes. Message received. From the very first game, the contrast was electric. Sabalenka played with relentless force, her ground strokes heavy and deep, each one pushing Kyrgios further behind the baseline. Kyrgios, in response, improvised. Slices, drop shots, sudden net rushes. It felt less like a tennis match and more like a chess game played at 200 kilometers per hour. At 3-3 in the first set, the tension peaked. Sabalenka broke serve with a blistering backhand return that kissed the line. She let out a roar, the kind that shook the stadium. Kyrgios looked up at his box, shrugged theatrically and mouthed, "Fair enough." But Kyrgios never stayed quiet for long. Down 5-4, serving to stay in the set, he unleashed his full arsenal. 2 aces. A serve and volley point that ended with a feathered drop volley. Then, on set point, he hit an audacious underarm serve. The crowd gasped. Sabalenka sprinted forward, reached it, and flicked a forehand pass down the line. Winner. First set, Sabalenka 6-4. The narrative exploded instantly. Phones lit up. Commentators leaned forward. This wasn't symbolic anymore. Sabalenka was winning. Kyrgios sat during the changeover, towel over his head, eyes closed. When he stood again, something had shifted. The jokes were gone. The chaos was focused. The second set opened with Kyrgios serving at full throttle. His first serve percentage climbed. His returns grew sharper. He began stepping inside the baseline, taking Sabalenka's pace early, redirecting it with precision instead of flair. At 2-1, he broke serve with a backhand return so clean it sounded different, like wood splitting. Sabalenka fought back, refusing to yield ground. Rallies stretched longer now, 10, 12 shots deep. Sweat flew. Shoes squeaked. The crowd stood as one during a 26-shot exchange that ended with Kyrgios sliding wide and flicking a forehand winner on the run. He didn't celebrate. He just stared at the baseline, breathing hard. At 5-4, Kyrgios served for the set. Sabalenka earned 2 break points with fearless returns, but Kyrgios erased them, one with a 220 km/h ace down the tee, the other with a bold serve and volley play that barely clipped the net. Second set, Kyrgios 6-4. One set all. The deciding set felt heavier, slower, as if the match itself understood what it represented. Sabalenka's power never dipped, but fatigue crept into her footwork. Kyrgios, sensing it, began moving her corner to corner, extending rallies, asking questions rather than forcing answers.